wrestling fans, VHS fans, and welcome to NDT CoLlEcTs WrAsSLiN VHS.
The following segment has been brought to you by NDT CoLlEcTs WrAsSLiN VHS.
Fans, VHS fans, as you know it, we have more packages. Let's dive right into it and see what we got. Wrestling fans, VHS fans, I picked this up from Facebook Marketplace again. Ordered these, or auction, so to speak, or claim sale. And I won them, paid for them, and now they got delivered. It is October season. It is Halloween season. Go over to my other channel, NDT Show. The link will be in the description below. The NDT Show. And see my Halloween stuff. Play my playlist if you want to. Of Halloween, if anybody likes Halloween stuff. Anyway, it is October, and you can see my hands are dirty. I've been outside working on Halloween props. So, excuse me for that. Anyway, let's dive right in and see what we got going on here. This is from Facebook Marketplace. I won and claimed to sell. It is VHS. VHS, folks. It is Speed Zone with John Candy, Eugene Levy. Speed Zone. It is a generic Cannonball Run with John Candy and Eugene Levy and a few others. It's an awesome movie. Next up, we have Driving Me Crazy. Driving Me Crazy. I don't know if y'all see it in that different light. Let's see. There we go. Driving Me Crazy. Let's see if I can work that light a little better. There you go. Driving Me Crazy. That has got Dom DeLuise, George Kennedy. I got it from Dom DeLuise in it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Probably not pronouncing it correctly. Anyway, we have next up Rider P.I. Rider P.I. And that has Howard Stern in it, I believe is the reason I got it. Howard Stern and the art cover. I got it just basically for the art cover. Folks, the art cover is pretty cool. Next up, we have Wharf Rat with Judge Reinhold. Wharf Rat with Judge Reinhold. Judge Reinhold, y'all. Judge Reinhold in Wharf Rat. Alright, that was a little box. Next up is the big haul box. We'll see what we got going on. We're going to open it right up. This also is from the same person on Facebook Marketplace. Except this one, folks, it is been shipped everywhere. It ended up in New York after it got here in my post office. And it's working its way back to New York distributor, and finally got it back today. It's been all around the world. You ever heard that song? All around the world, same song. Anyway, we got Eddie Murphy in, Distinguished Gentleman. Eddie Murphy, Distinguished Gentleman. Next up, we got Pootie Tang. I believe it's got Chris Rock in. Pootie Tang. MTV Films and Chris Rock's Productions. Yes, Pootie Tang. Next up, we got Danny DeVito in. What's he in here? Danny DeVito in The Heist. Danny DeVito. Next up, we got John Candy in Only the Lonely Dum 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 Shoo-Doo. Only the Lonely. Next up, we have Baby on Board. Who in the heck is in this? Judge Reinhold in Baby on Board. A Judge Reinhold film that I've never seen. Baby on Board. Never seen this. It's a 1991 release. Baby on Board. That cover looks like it's been made. Baby on Board. Next up, we have an old one here, folks. And I just got it because it's old. And to be honest with you, I've never seen it all the way through. And that's bad of me, I guess. You know, I like movies and stuff. It is. Got Debbie Reynolds, Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor in Singing in the Rain. Singing in the rain. Never seen it all the way through, folks. Never seen it all the way through. Next up, we have Daniel Stern is in this. That's the reason I got it. Daniel Stern. It is none other than Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. Next up, we have a great flick. Emilio Estevez. Charlie Sheen, I believe, is in it also. Not sure. He may not be in this one. I think he might have got killed in part 1. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen these movies. Anyway, it is Young Guns Part 2. Young Guns Part 2. Part 2 of the Young Guns. Next up, we have a great one from can't pronounce his name correct. Macaulay Culkin, or Macaulay Culkin? Macaulay Culkin. And it is not. He is not Home Alone in this. Though I think he wants to be when he gets rid of everybody, tries to get rid of everybody. It is The Good Son. The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. The Good Son. Next up, we have a great film. Nobody's in it that I like or collect. It's just the fact that I love the film. Enjoyed it quite well. Got a good scenario. It is Chasers. Chasers. Next up, we have a James Belushi involvement here. James Belushi is in K9. K9 with James Belushi. Next up, we got Dan Aykroyd involvement here. Dan Aykroyd in this one. Dan Aykroyd is Dr. Detroit. Dr. Detroit. Next up, we have Chevy Chase in Cops and Robertsons. Cops and Robertsons. If I can just get it out of the case now. Cops and Robertsons. Got a little plastic thing there. A little piece of tape inside. Like that. Throw that away. Anyway, next up we have, who is in this? Judge Reinhold. Judge Reinhold involvement again. It is Desperate Men. Desperate Men, Judge Reinhold. Next up we have, I believe, Sean William Scott, the reason I got this, but there's a few other people in it, but Sean William Scott's the reason I have it, and it is Evolution. Evolution. Sean William Scott is Evolution. Next up, we have an Ice Cube involvement. It is Dangerous Ground. Dangerous Ground with Ice Cube. Next up, Burt Reynolds is Raven. Raven, Burt Reynolds. Next up, we have Marlon Wayans, David Spade in Senseless. Senseless, Marlon Wayans, David Spade. Next up is a really good film. I love to play the board game. I play the board game all the time with my nieces and nephews when they come over and they want to play. I thought it was a good film. I hear they're going to try to remake it a while back, but it never got right. Oh, look at that. It is tore out of pieces. It is tore up, and that's just great. I'm going to have to fix that. A little bit tore up, y'all, folks. That's a good movie, too. See it right there? I don't think it's that. A little tore up. I'm going to have to fix that. It looks like it's about to rip completely. I am going to fix that right now. Pause. I'm back, folks. Look at it. It was Clue. Clue is the one that was tore up a little bit. Fixed now. Clue's good to go. Clue. That has got a lot of great people in it now. It's got Christopher Lloyd, Tim Curry. Great ones. Those are the two main ones I got it for, but it's got a lot of great characters in it. It is Clue, based off the Parker Brothers board game. Next up, we have Kurt Russell in The Longest Drive. The Longest Drive. The Longest Drive. Next up, we got Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket. Just got it because it's good film. Nobody's in it that I really care for, but it's a great film. Next up, we have James Belushi in Separate Lives. Separate Lives. Next up, we got Burt Reynolds in Rough Cut. Rough Cut, Burt Reynolds. Oh, and that must be an open box or case here. Let me see how it works. Yeah, it's an open case like that, see? I have a couple of them. They're kind of rare. I can't never, you know, I guess they're rare to find. I don't know for sure. I don't know how rare they are. But yeah, open case. Open case VHS. It is Rough Cut, Burt Reynolds. Next up, we got another Burt Reynolds in The Man Who Loved Women. The Man Who Loved Women. And that seems to be another open case, or yeah, this side flap. It's a flap. Flap side. Flap side. Flap it right back in there. The Man Who Loved Women. And I hear that that was true in life. Burt Reynolds was loved women a lot, so to speak. Cape Fear is next. Cape Fear. Anybody seen that? Cape Fear? Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte. Cape Fear. That's a good one. Next up, we got Sylvester Stallone in Get Carter. Get Carter. Tried to throw that paper there. Get Carter. Next up, we got Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds. Now you need to get the whole complete series of this Revenge of the Nerds, because I don't got neither one. And it looks like that fell off. That's alright. It's old. The label has fell off, folks. But it is still there. It is Revenge of the Nerds. And I definitely need to check, make sure that is Revenge of the Nerds. We'll get on to that here in a little bit. Revenge of the Nerds. CBS Fox. Next up, we got David Arquette in The Alarmist. The Alarmist. That's a little messed up right there. Kind of sticks. I think it's because the thing's wore out on it, but we'll fix that. Let's see if I can pop that in real good right here. No, that didn't work. I might have to switch the, it's got a little, the spring in it's a little loose. I have to redo that. To be honest with you, I believe it's broke. But we can fix that, no problem. We'll fix that, no problem. The Alarmist. Things happen when you order movies. You never know how good they're great, because there's VHS. I mean, they're old movies to start with. This one right here. Hamburger, the motion picture movie. Hamburger. It is, looks like to be sealed. Yeah. It's never been opened. Ha! Didn't know that. Never been opened. It's Hamburger, the motion picture film. Next up, we got a movie that I didn't really care for, but it's a horror film. I collect horror films. It's the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project. Next up, we got a lot more to go here, folks. We have Die Hard 2. Die Hard 2 with Bruce Willis. Die Hard 2, Bruce Willis. Next up, we got Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers. And I believe that's one of Jim Carrey's first films, if I ain't mistaken. He is involved in this somehow. I've never seen it, so. It's got Beverly D'Angelo, Michael O'Keefe, but I believe Jim Carrey is in it somewhere. Cameo appearance or just a little brief, whatever, I don't know for sure. I have to watch it and find out, but I think Jim Carrey's in it. Next up, we got a Michael J. Fox in Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy. That's a side flap. And the label's off here as well. It's there, but the label, see, pulls an ivy. Pulls an ivy. I'll get it back in the case now. Well, let's sniff it, see how old it is. Don't sniff your VHS tapes. No, I see if it's in the basement smell. You know what I'm saying? They had these in the basement. I don't know for sure what they had it in, but it kind of smells like that. Maybe the old video store. I think they brought out a whole video store at one point. We got Revenge of the Nerds Part 2. Revenge of the Nerds Part 2. Nerds in Paradise. Next up, we got Charlie Sheen in Wall Street. Wall Street. Charlie Sheen. Oh, I just ripped off the dag gem label. Boy, I tell you what. Showing them in there like that doesn't help. I just ripped that label off. See, it's easy done. I done it myself. Rip the label off. What's the best to put them labels back on? Y'all know? Super glue, maybe? A little super glue. Next up, we got a Burt Reynolds in Rent-A-Cop. Rent-A-Cop. Burt Reynolds. Next up, we got Sigourney Weaver, I think, in this. Yes, Aliens. Aliens. And that label was off, and they've put it back on with tape. See that? Scotch tape. They put it back on with Scotch tape. Huh. Aliens. Next up, Michael J. Fox is Doc Hollywood. Doc Hollywood also has Woody Harrelson in this. Doc Hollywood. Michael J. Fox, Woody Harrelson. Next up, we got The Haunting with Owen Wilson. The Haunting. The Haunting. Next up, we have Jim Varney in The Beverly Hillbillies. The Beverly Hillbillies. I remember renting this at one of my old. Got a little mess up there on first, but look, see how crinkle that is? Somebody got stuck in the VCR. I rented this at the old Carbaker's filling station. Whoever's watching my video locally knows what I'm talking about. Used to rent that. Tried to rent it, and so it was rented out, and the owner had a copy of it for sale from the people that sends them, you know, copies to watch it before they order more videos. It's like a preview thing. Or a screener, what do you call it? They call it screener back then. Yeah, it's still screener now, I guess. Got the screener copy of it and watched it at the house, Beverly Hillbillies, when it first came out. Anyway, we got John Goodman here in The Runner, I think it's the name of it. Yeah, The Runner. John Goodman is The Runner. Let's see, we have Die Hard 1, Part 1, Die Hard, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis and Die Hard 1. Next up, we got The Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen, 2.5. The Naked Gun, 2.5. Next up, we got Tom Hanks in Joe versus the Volcano. Joe versus the Volcano. If I just get it out of the case. Joe versus the Volcano. Next up, we have, what is this? I don't know. I didn't order that. Ain't no way I ordered that. That's been a freebie. Don Williams. Live. Don Williams. Good old Don Williams. Next up, we have Masters of the Universe, the live action motion picture. Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe. Next up, One of my favorites as a kid, as a teenager, man. I used to love this movie. I still love it. It has Jennifer Tilly in it, James Keach, John Murray, Bill Murray's brother. It is Moving Violations. Moving Violations. Anybody seen that? Great friggin' movie. Moving Violations. Next up, we got who do I get this for? I'm looking out for Al Bundy. Remember that guy, character Al Bundy was played by Ed Nelson, I think. What's his name? What is his name? I don't even say it. Ed O'Neill. Yeah. Can't remember his name. That's crazy. Ed O'Neill is disorganized crime. I got the name wrong. Disorganized crime. Ed O'Neill. And that is never been opened. Proof of purchase. Never been opened. Sealed copy of it. Next up, we have Kurt Russell in The Longest Drive Part 2, The Captive. Kurt Russell, The Longest Drive 2, The Captive. Kurt Russell. And I'm filling the box up where you can't hardly see nothing in the camera. It is last though. This is it. This is the last one. What is it? What is it? It is Kevin Bacon is Wild Things. Wild Things. Kevin Bacon. Wild Things. Wild Things. That wraps this segment up. We'll catch you on the next segment from NDT CoLlEcTs WrAsSLiN Plus VHS.
This segment was brought to you by NDT CoLlEcTs WrAsSLiN Plus VHS.